What's up, family? It's Angel Rios. I'm your host and founder of the Rally Cry and creator of Enough Said. And we're here because we're talking about ways to self improve, ways to build relationships. And so that way we could live in a life that we can actually be grateful of. And I think this episode, you already know what we're going to get into. We're going to be talking about the new year, but let's also just talk about the consumption of this year, 2025, about all the accomplishments, about all the ups, downs. We know the motto, right? We already know what to reflect on. At least that's what we're going to be doing here, just in case we don't know what to think about. And I think sometimes when it comes to the end of the year and we're starting into another year, we talk about so many things that we're going to want to change, habits that we want to get out of, and all these other things. And it's just like, it's definitely easier said than done, right? Like you can say it, but doing it is like a whole process, because you would then find yourself doing the thing maybe a little bit more. But the difference is that now you're thinking about, oh, wait, I shouldn't be doing this. Or I told myself I was going to stop doing this. And that could be a habit of, waking up late. It could be a habit of doing a certain activity that you don't feel comfortable with. Like some people, they want to stop drinking. They want to stop smoking. They want to, stop doing certain things that might not, aid to themselves. Or if it's not stopping something, it could just be simply wanting to start something. Oh, I want to start going to the gym, or I want to start going to this program, right? Like I want to learn martial arts. I want to learn all these things. I want to learn how to play an instrument. I want to, whatever it is the fact that we keep telling ourselves at the end of the year, towards the beginning of a new one, that we're going to make this change. And, when it comes to change, I think about energy, right? I think energy is something that I've been putting in the forefront of my head, I feel like, for the past couple months, especially getting out of my master's program, because I was literally so low on energy. I feel like I didn't have time to do other things. And if that's being with my clients, if that's being with my friends, if that's being with my girlfriend, if that's being with my family members, I just felt like I couldn't do it. I feel like I needed to give back to myself first so that I can give all of me to the person that I'm going to be hanging out with. And, when it comes to like changing yourself and your environment and who you are as a person and how you want to, better yourself, right? Because initially we want to grow. We want to change for the better and not necessarily for the worse. And, I was just thinking, I was cleaning earlier and I had thought about how all these things that are in my house, we're talking about clothes, we're talking about items, things that I just don't use anymore, things I don't wear anymore. And I think about how, everything that we hold as a physical object, and even music, because music, I change my playlist all the time. I don't know about you guys, but every so often I change a playlist every 3 months just to kind of refresh myself. I don't want to listen to the same things. And so being able to clean up your environment and kind of organize is such a crucial thing for you to become that better person, right? Like, yes, it's all about doing those things like going to the gym and all these things, whatever that goal is for you. But we had to kind of like step back and think about, okay, where's our foundation? Where is it that we're at, right? And you kind of want to start at home. You kind of want to start maybe going through your phone, cleaning it up, right? And, I'm a big person when it comes to like not always being on your phone, but for situations like this, we want to go in there and start cleaning things up. We want to organize things. We want to feel like, it looks different. I'd be changing my wallpaper, right? I know I'm not the only one. So it's almost like the same concept. And so anything that you have in your closet that you're no longer using, if it's an item that you're having that's on your dresser and you have not even touched it, it's just collecting dust, give it a new home. I remember I was on Instagram and I ran into a commercial, and the commercial was, a guy and a whole bunch of people wearing the same thing of multiple things. So a person was wearing a hat, he had like 10 hats. A person was wearing a sweater, he had like 20 sweaters on him. Someone was wearing a ring, had a whole bunch of rings. Someone was wearing shoes and had a whole bunch of shoes like stringed along. And the whole point was basically to say, the things that you have might just be sitting there. Like I have shoes that are just sitting there too. I'm guilty. But the thing is that eventually you want to start letting some of these things go. I got rid of a couple things just for free because I'm not using it. Or if you want, put it on Facebook Market. I know that works. For me, it does. I saw a lamp and whatnot and gave it to a home that would, appreciate the lamp because I wasn't using it. It was just sitting in the shed. The more of the story is that if you're not using something and something's collecting dust, give it a home, because it's not only about giving something away that you're not using, it's about letting go of energy, because everything that you have as an item, everything that you have that shares a memory is holding an energy. And with that energy, you want to be able to let go of that energy so you bring space for something else. If something's collecting space, there's not going to be room for something else. And you'd be surprised, trust me. After I renovated the top part of this house and I did it with my uncle, and now we have more room up in the ceiling, I feel like so many more things has came to my life. And you can think that, oh, that's just boo-boo, haha, however you want to mention that. I mean, I don't know. I believe it. But it's the matter of knowing that it's all another spiritual realm of things, right? A lot of the things that change from you is coming from your spirit, right? And I was reading a book it's called the Book of Miracles. And what I love about it is that someone had gifted to me. I love those moments when someone just gives me a book and it just makes me feel like they actually care about, me knowing my wisdom. And so I started reading this book, and this book clearly has said in one part that your body is what learns and your mind is what understands it. So that your body is essentially the tool for you to be able to learn. I mean, think about how you want to experience things in a physical form. You want to actually be there. You want to really embody the ambiance of whatever it is that you want to experience. You want to be physically there, right? Like if you go to a concert, being there at the concert isn't the same as it being at your house and watching it on TV. It's just not. And so our mind is the one that understands it, but it's not necessarily learning it. It's understanding our body the same way that it is when we're hungry. Oh, I understand that I'm hungry. And so when I had read that in the book, it made me really think about how our body is entangled to this physical experience. And so going back to when it comes to your spirit is already created. It is already considered to be perfect, right? And you want to be able to maintain that purity of your spirit by being able to cleanse things that are no longer serving you. Like, you don't want to have an object, an item in your house that reminds you of a bad experience. I mean, there's the same thing when it comes to music. You listen to a particular song and you be like, wow, that's a throwback. I remember that song. And then you start remembering all the things that you had experienced around that time when you first listened to that song. So when it comes to, coming into a change and wanting to better yourself, you kind of want to look deeper, right? It's not just the action. It's the things that you're around. We're talking about the people. We're talking about the items. We're talking about everything that is an energy. And talking about people, you got to realize that you don't want to be around people that also give you half the energy, meaning as in the amount of energy that you give them. You don't want to be around someone that doesn't even give you any energy back, right? Because everything needs to be able to reciprocate. And if you're putting all your effort, if you're putting all your energy and you're not even getting any reciprocation, then you got to let that go. Because if you keep holding on to something that isn't reciprocating you, then you're only draining yourself, because you're holding on to something that isn't even giving you any more energy back. As much as you give, that's great, but you need to also learn how to take, because within that essence, that's just part of the formula. If you're giving, you need to be able to take. If you're going to take, you better give, right? You need both to be able to live this experience and do it well within the law of the universe. And so just keep in mind, when it comes into this new year, 2026, right? We want to make sure that we're not around anything that is depriving us. We're talking about if this is an item that no longer serves me, I'm going to let that go and I could probably get something better. And just know that when something is being forced upon, it's never going to serve you. That goes with the items, it goes with the things you want, it goes with the people that you want around you, it goes even for when you don't even have it. You don't want to be so fixated about it, because if you keep holding grudges about it, if you keep putting too much intention, right? See what I did there? Intention, like you're putting so much into it, your intention of the fact that you just don't have that thing, the fact that you don't have that person, the fact that, maybe you just don't got the things that you want. And trust me, I feel you. I get it, right? I've been there all a bunch of times where I feel like I should have certain things. But then that's an expectation that I put so hard on myself that I don't allow myself to just relax and let it come to me. It's almost like what my uncle said. When you're meditating and you're sitting in silence, think about sitting next to a river. When you're sitting next to a river and you see an apple coming down the stream, you're not going to run after that apple, because then you're never going to catch it. You're going to be forever chasing it. But if you were just to sit there and wait for another apple to come down, all you could do is put your hand out and then grab it. There's no need for chasing. We don't need any of that. The thing is that you are abundant. You are more than capable to attract everything that is within you and that is for you. So I know that's definitely easier said than done, but you got to believe in that, because the matter of believing does so much that you'll realize that certain things open up just because you believe in yourself, just because you believe the fact that things are going to work out in your favor, as long as you keep that effort, as long as you have that positive affirmation and telling yourself that I can and I will. And it takes time. And every time when you're going for that goal that you want, you're always going to fine it up a little bit more. It's almost like sharpening a pencil. You're writing your story, and after a while you're writing the pencil, you might have to sharpen it up again so that you can continue writing your story. So think of it like that. The metaphor is that as you continue into the new year, and as you continue every single day, it doesn't have to be January 1st. It could be right now, this very second, with you first having the mindset to tell yourself that I'm writing my story. And every so often, I might have to put my pencil down and relax my hand so that I can pick up the pencil again, sharpen it up, and start again. But just because you stop, it don't mean nothing. It means that you are trying to take the time to reflect and understand, to realize the energy is something that I need to be mindful of, because I don't need to be around any kind of energy that is taken away from me. I don't need to be around any energy that isn't even giving to me when I'm giving to it. And we're talking about people, we're talking about items, we're talking about anything that just doesn't make you feel right. When they say listen to your gut, yeah, listen to your gut, because the thing is that your intuition is stronger than you can ever imagine. And we live in a society that tries to take away our intuition, and we have to rely on certain things to see if it's true. But I mean, come on, as you guys know, with AI and all this stuff, I mean, what can you believe? But what you can believe is yourself. What you can believe is your intuition. So as we go into the 2026, I just want to reassure you that you are capable, and when there's a will, there's a way, and anything is possible as long as you believe in yourself. And man, I feel like there has been a lot of accomplishments this year. The very beginning of 2025, we sold 100 decks to Springfield Public Schools. And man, that was like, what? Like, what do you mean? And the fact that I realized throughout this year is that I need to believe in myself. I can't doubt myself. And I can't be so scared and fearful for the thing, because I realized that healing starts with going against the fear, to face everything and rise, to understand that there's no such thing as fear, but it's a misconception of what you have to yourself and what we've been constructed to believe. But just know that you are in control of your universe. You are in control of everything, because this is your world, your favors. So, man, I feel like I could go on a rant, and it's just one of those things that I feel so good to kind of even say out loud, because it's something that I realized for myself. And, done a lot of speaking engagements at schools and doing my master's program. I mean, that's a milestone. and games and poetry. Shout outs to everybody that had put games of poetry together. We had 2 events of games and poetry. It started from a game night, and now we're going to do games and poetry continuing on to 2026. A lot of good stuff. And so I just really appreciate you guys for, again, giving me the space to be able to, go on a hiatus and come back and just feel so much more energized so that I can give you all of me. And 2026 is going to be a good year because we said so. So it's on up from here, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And until next time, you guys be easy. Peace.